fast, where truth moves faster than a Holstein calf. No waiting on some pretty page. We're charting new ground in the digital age. From genomic codes to row-out facts, we cut through the noise, no holding back. Not your daddy's dairy news tonight. We're sparking debates with every insight. The ring's not where the real fight's at. It's in the data, in the channel chat. From pasture to processor to your morning cup, we're raising the stakes. Try and get ahead of herd. Yeah! Where the future's more than just a word. Ahead of herd. Come on! The bullvine's calling, let your voice be heard.
Welcome back to the Bullvine Podcast, where we cut through the dairy industry noise to get you the insights that actually matter for your operation.
And today we're diving into what we're calling the December reckoning.
That's a strong word.
It is, but it's deserved. The new genetic evaluations just dropped across North America and Europe, and this wasn't just a reshuffle, it was a detonation.
Detonation is exactly the word I've been using since the numbers hit my desk.
Yeah.
Look, our mission today it's critical. We are analyzing the December 2025 global Holstein rankings.
Right.
But let's be brutally honest about the stakes right now. If you are still relying on your genetic playbook from last August,
Your sourcing list, your favorite bulls.
all of it is officially obsolete. This isn't about minor fluctuations. This is about seismic shifts that are going to redefine your profitability for 2026.
Exactly. Relying on that outdated data is probably the fastest way to erode your margins next year. We saw a global bloodbath this cycle.
A bloodbath.
Sires that were untouchable, commanding premium prices, backing entire breeding strategies. They just cratered overnight. And these weren't errors. This was the risk materializing.
And I think there are two massive stories we have to dissect here. First, the sheer volatility that just slammed the international markets. We saw untouchable genomic leaders get wiped out.
Wiped out is right.
And second, the booyah. The massive, unprecedented consolidation of the gene pool happening right here in North America.
It's terrifying in a way.
We need to show you exactly which high-profile sires melted down and, maybe more importantly, what that phrase, 75% reliability, actually means when the numbers don't hold up. This deep dive is about protecting your bottom line.
And ensuring your herd is resilient for the future. Let's jump straight into the physics of the collapse.
Let's do it.
We have preached the principle of genomic volatility since day one. The idea that predictions are just that. They're estimates, not guarantees.
Right.
This December cycle, though, that principle stopped being some theoretical warning, and it turned into brutal financial reality. We saw it across multiple international indexes.
And I hear that number all the time, 75% reliable. Especially when we're talking about these young, high-flying genomic bulls.
It sounds safe, doesn't it?
It sounds great.
Yeah.
Most people hear 75% and they treat it as a near certainty, especially when the upside looks so incredible. But you have to remind people what that other 25% represents.
It represents a 1 in 4 chance of deviating significantly from the prediction as actual daughter data starts to roll in.
Significantly.
And more importantly, we have to talk about the standard error of prediction, or the SEP. That's the statistical range the actual proof is likely to fall within. When we see these dramatic index drops, they aren't some black swan event.
It's not a fluke.
No. It's the inherent risk materializing exactly as the statistics predicted it could. It's the hard truth of early selection. And December just exposed that vulnerability in the harshest way possible.
That's the analytical view. The practical view is it's financial ruin for some of the seed stock guys who banked everything on these bulls. We aren't talking about some mid-range sires here.
No, these are the absolute darlings, the ones commanding premium prices based entirely on index hype.
So let's name names. Where do we start?
Let's start in Europe. The damage was immediate. Look first at Switzerland, which uses the ISET, or International Selection Efficiency Trait Index. The bull was Susmaron Boston.
I know the name. He was the former #1 sire there, right?
Yeah.
Untouchable in August at a massive plus 1645 ISET.
That's the one. And what happened in December?
I'm waiting for it.
He suffered a stunning, almost unbelievable 52-point ISET collapse. Dropped him all the way down to plus 1593.
52 points.
Now, for our listeners who operate in U.S. or Canadian indexes, you have to understand 52 points in ISET is an enormous correction. It's a complete recalibration of projected genetic value.
So for herds that invested heavily in his semen, his embryos, based on that summer ranking,
that potential revenue, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars industry-wide, it evaporated. overnight.
52 points. That is absolutely gut-wrenching. Can you imagine being a breeder or an investor who banked heavily on that single bull just 6 months ago?
You thought you had the golden ticket.
You bought at the absolute peak, expecting those daughters to carry that plus 1645 value, only to wake up and realize the projected value of all those pregnancies just took a massive haircut. That's not a blip. That is a heart attack for your balance sheet.
And if you think that's bad, wait till you hear the story out of Italy.
Oh, no.
The volatility there was even more pronounced, and it hit a high-profile niche market. Italy uses the GPFT, or Genomic Profitability Trait Index.
Okay.
The star was a bull named KNO Ecuador P. He's a high-profile polled sire, which means he carried additional market value.
So even more hype.
Exactly. He plummeted an incredible 98 GPFT points, dropped from 49.43 all the way down to 48.45.
98 points.
Yeah.
That sounds like a complete technical failure, not just a correction. That's a wipeout.
It is arguably the single most brutal proof correction among any of the elite sires in this entire cycle. It just goes to show what happens when market enthusiasm, the hype, pushes a bull far beyond what the reliability metrics should allow.
The risk just, it resolves itself.
And often it resolves itself violently.
And it wasn't just them. Scandinavia saw the same pattern, right? In their NTM, the Nordic Total Merit Index.
Absolutely. And their index is heavily weighted towards health, fertility, function, things that reflect their high labor cost model. You'd think it would be more stable.
You would.
But the former genomic leader, Fly P, experienced a precipitous 8-point NTM drop. He went from plus 49 NTM down to plus 41.
Now, 8 points doesn't sound as dramatic as 98.
It doesn't, but for the NTM index, which is extremely stable and very difficult to move, that's one of the sharpest single-round declines on record for a bull that high up the list.
So it proves that no index, no matter how balanced or function-focused it is immune to genomic correction when that 25% risk matures. Okay, let me put on my farmer hat for a second, because this is where the real pain hits home.
Go for it.
I'm sitting here, I'm looking at a semen tank full of straws that were bought at a premium 6 months ago, and now they've lost 50, 60, almost 100 points in projected value. My first thought is, I got burned chasing the hot new bull too hard.
And that's a fair reaction.
I bought what was essentially a high-risk stock, but I treated it like a guaranteed blue-chip investment for my next heifer crop.
And that is the precise practical lesson here. Genomic selection gives you this enormous advantage of compressed generation intervals. You get to genetic gain faster, but the cost of failure is astronomical.
The excitement of maximizing that gain pushes us, as breeders, toward concentration. We rely too heavily on one or two unproven superstars.
But the system is designed to correct as reliability matures. The discipline required is to understand that this volatility demands ruthless risk management. It demands diversification. If you got burned this December, it's a tough lesson, but it's one that requires immediate action.
Agreed. The key takeaway here: volatility is real, it materialized with a vengeance, and if you concentrated your risk, you'd be paid the price. You have to treat that 75% reliable sire like a portfolio investment, not a single stock.
Well said. So now let's shift gears completely.
Okay.
If that first part was about the devastating collapse of certain high flyers, this next part is about the terrifying rise of singular force and the market consolidation that comes with it.
Let's talk about the U.S. market, where the genetic landscape isn't just shuffling, it's narrowing. It is narrowing drastically under one major program.
Narrowing is an understatement. It's turning into a virtual monopoly. And, frankly, you can't argue with the effectiveness of the strategy.
The results are there, but you have to worry about the long-term implications. Genosource isn't just winning, they are sweeping the table in a way we haven't seen in decades.
The data it's historically staggering. We're talking about net merit dollars, or NM, the U.S. dairy industry's primary profitability index.
The one most commercial guys live and die by.
Right. As of December, Genosource now controls an astounding 22 of the top 30 net merit spots.
22 out of 30.
That represents a remarkable 73% market share in the index that most U.S. commercial dairies use to make their strategic mating decisions.
73%. I mean, that concentration of elite profit genetics is it's unprecedented. They have clearly cracked the code on what drives profitability in the U.S. system. That balance of production, health, and longevity that NMO prioritizes.
And they hold the crown jewel, Genosource retrospect et defends his #1 NMOR position at a massive $1,296. He just embodies their mastery of that total economic merit formula.
And it's not a one-off. Their pipeline is full.
Exactly. The most explosive newcomer was Sandan on CalEd. He debuts at #9 NMOR and #3 GTPI with a commanding production profile: 1845 milk, 151 fat, and 70 protein. The sheer fact that one program can dominate this intensely just shows relentless focused breeding.
Okay, let's stop right there because this is the critical debate. This is the double-edged sword. Analytically, I have to acknowledge it. This concentration delivers elite, consistent, and highly profitable results.
It offers a clear, repeatable path to high-profit genetics.
It does. For the commercial farmer who just wants the best numbers today, it's a simple choice.
That's the pro argument: efficiency and predictability.
But practically, I'm raising the alarm about systemic risk. I get the efficiency, but if 73% of the elite genetics are flowing from the same maternal lines, using the same sire fathers, where is our diversity in 5 years?
That's a billion-dollar question.
This concentration feels like a ticking time bomb for inbreeding. We've seen this before in history where dominant bloodlines run too deep. The result is always the same.
Loss of resilience, compromised fertility.
Exactly. Reduced calf figure. It introduces a systemic risk that goes way beyond an individual bull's index score.
I agree with the concern. We have to emphasize that this high genetic ceiling comes with a very high genetic constraint. While the Genosource program is brilliant at maximizing gain, that gain is being built on an increasingly narrow foundation.
We're essentially betting the farm on the success and durability of just a handful of maternal lines.
That's a great way to put it.
And wait, let me push back on your efficiency point for a second. Isn't high consolidation actually good for standardization and maximizing short-term gain?
You could make that argument.
Why should a commercial farmer worry about diversity? That's always been a concern for the seed stock breeders, right?
Right.
If I'm just milking cows, why does the breadth of the gene pool matter to my milk check next year?
That is a fundamentally important question, and the answer is it matters because the consequences of profound inbreeding aren't subtle.
They show up on the balance sheet.
They show up as reduced conception rates, fewer live births, increased stillbirths, all measurable costs to the commercial farmer. And beyond that, a lack of diversity translates to vulnerability. Environmental and health pressures. If the dominant maternal lines all happen to share a weakness to a new pathogen or a specific management stressor, that 73% market share means the entire U.S. herd is vulnerable. Genetic diversity is our insurance against the unknown challenges of the future.
So while the seed stock guy is managing the immediate inbreeding coefficient, the commercial guy is the one who pays the price in herd health and wasted semen costs 5 years from now.
Exactly,
Yeah.
which puts a huge premium on careful mating software.
And this isn't just an American thing, is it? We are seeing these concentration echoes across Europe.
We are. Look at Switzerland again. The foundational Gameday maternal line underpins 3 of their top 5 ISET sires, Monset, Boston, and Torchlight. The influence is enormous.
Same story, different country.
And in the Netherlands, where the focus is on functional longevity, the Altazazzle bloodline claims 4 of the top 10 proven sire positions. The top genetics in the world are becoming highly centralized.
So the dominance of these bloodlines, Genosource, Gameday, Altazazzle, sends a clear signal. You must, absolutely must, invest in ruthless inbreeding management.
It's non-negotiable now.
You have to use your mating programs to actively monitor and manage those coefficients. Don't let the pursuit of that 1,296 NM&L score today destroy the genetic foundation of your herd tomorrow.
Protecting genetic diversity is no longer a luxury for the elite breeder. It's a foundational step for maintaining fertility and long-term resilience for the commercial farmer.
Okay, let's shift our focus now to where the cash register is ringing globally, because the evaluations this December were unambiguous. Components are now the defining trait of profitability.
Absolutely. The global economic trend is crystal clear. Processor payments are increasingly tied to milk solids, fat and protein.
It's just a reflection of consumer demand, right? Less fluid milk, more cheese, more yogurt, more butterfat.
The index formula is simply reflecting that economic reality on the ground.
Right. So for every U.S. or Canadian farmer listening, your mantra right now has to be, volume is vanity, solids are sanity.
I like that.
Selecting for high components is no longer an optional trait. It is a direct, measurable path to maximizing your revenue per hundredweight, because that's where the premiums are.
And this evaluation cycle didn't just confirm the trend, it gave us the new prototypes, the bulls that redefine what high component production looks like at the elite level.
So who are the new kings of components?
In Canada and the US, the bull defining the new component ceiling is beyond high-level ET.
Wow.
He vaulted an explosive 11 spots to number 4 in Canada's LPI, and he claimed the number 1 GTPI spot in the US precisely because of his exceptional component profile.
Okay, so give me the specific numbers. What's making him so profitable?
We are talking about 165 kilograms of fat on a high-volume base, alongside 78 kilograms of protein.
165 kilos of fat.
That production profile proves that the old trade-off, the idea that you couldn't have extreme volume and extreme density, is officially broken. You can have both. And your milk check demands that you select for it.
It's fascinating because the market isn't just rewarding high percentages anymore, but high kilograms. He's moving a huge amount of fluid milk that is also extremely rich.
Exactly. But we also saw the rise of the extreme percentage specialist. Beyond herdThis debuted at number 3 LPI in Canada.
And what's the profile?
He hits the percentage extremes with a plus 1.0% fat and a plus 0.52% protein. His profile is tailor-made for herds targeting maximum premiums in markets with strict percentage payment grids.
That's the difference between a farm just scraping by on margin and a farm that's generating an elite milk check. The component density is the key lever.
And we see it everywhere. Look at Germany, which uses the RZG index with its focus on health and efficiency.
Right.
The new genomic co-leader, Saturn RDC, immediately distinguished himself with a massive plus 0.88% fat alongside excellent health traits. The global market is rewarding this exact phenotype.
It's a truly global phenomenon. Italy's new international genomic leader, De Novo Locust Yapi, he's at 5450 GPFT. He's also built on this component philosophy.
He is. He posts strong component kilograms, plus 115 kilograms of fat, and plus 96 kilograms of protein.
And the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands, they use the INET, their total profit index. The standout is Genosource Mistro. He has the highest INET at plus 799. And if you dissect that score, what's driving it?
Components.
Components. Plus 146 kilograms of fat and plus 84 kilograms of protein.
The correlation is it's undeniable. Selecting for high fat and protein is now the most direct path to maximizing your revenue. When you see a bull like High Level posting 165 kilos of fat, or herdThis posting over 1% fat, you're looking at the new gold standard for dairy profitability.
These component specialists are not niche bulls anymore. They are the core revenue drivers, and the index rankings are now clearly reflecting that economic truth across every major dairy market.
The time for prioritizing volume alone is over. If you aren't selecting aggressively for components today, you are essentially leaving cash on the table with every single milk check.
Shifting our focus back to Europe now, we often see a mindset that prioritizes durability, function, and trouble-free performance over just chasing extreme index points or production volume.
This is the heart of what we call the invisible cow philosophy. And it's critical for commercial viability in these high-cost labor environments.
It's the logical extension of systems that face really high replacement costs and pressure on efficiency. The invisible cow is the complete antithesis of the show ring star.
Right. The breeding philosophy rewards balanced, moderate, functional cattle. They're designed to thrive in real-world commercial systems without creating management headaches.
So let's define this. What does the invisible cow actually look like on the farm?
She's the cow that you don't notice. You don't notice her during milking because her temperament is calm and her udder health is perfect. You don't notice her during breeding checks because she cycles on time every time.
You don't notice her when the vet comes because she hasn't had a single case of mastitis or a foot ulcer in 2 years.
She doesn't win the show, and she might not even be the highest yielder in your herd, but she stays in the herd for lactation after lactation.
Her true value, then, is only visible when you check the bottom line. It's the profit driven by low labor needs, minimal vet bills, and low replacement costs.
Precisely. And the Netherlands, using their NVI or net value index, they just completely validate this philosophy with the absolute conquest of the Altazazzle bloodline in the proven rankings.
Altazazzle sons claim 4 of the top 10 NVI positions.
That level of dominance proves that the market is willing to sacrifice a little bit of extreme production for trouble-free durable performance.
It does. It validates a breeding philosophy that prioritizes robustness. And when you look at their genomic lists, bulls have to deliver on function.
For example,
Genosource Modi, for example. He cracked the incredible plus 420 NBI ceiling in the genomic ranks, but he did it while simultaneously delivering phenomenal functional longevity.
and what's the number on that?
An increase of plus 872 days of projected lifespan.
872 days. That figure is why it's mind-boggling. That means Modi's daughters are projected to stay in the herd over 2 years longer than the average cow.
That combination extreme index with extreme longevity is the new ceiling. The economics of the industry demand that kind of durability.
The old production longevity trade-off is breaking down. Elite genetics can now deliver cows that both stay in the herd and fill the tank, which is crucial for amortizing those heifer rearing costs.
Exactly. And we see that same focus on durability really strongly in the UK with the sheepster legacy, specifically on the daughter-proven side, governed by their PLI, the Profitable Lifetime Index.
Right. OCD Trooper Sheepster.
He graduated to the #1 daughter-proven sire in the UK with a 783-pound PLI. But his significance isn't just his own rank. He's become a breed-shaping sire of sons.
That's the definition of a true foundation sire, isn't it? When his own offspring started dominating the next generation of genomic lists.
Precisely. Multiple sheepster offspring, including Badger Seamer's Daytrip at #2 genomic and Progenesis Preston at #3, they now dominate the young sire lists.
So it's a legacy.
It's the kind of bloodline dominance that builds lasting competitive advantage focused on functional traits like mastitis, resistance, and fertility.
And the proof is in the daughters. The sheepster daughters show a clear lifespan advantage of plus 110 days.
That longevity confirms the sheepster legacy is reshaping the entire UK breed toward functional durability and lower replacement costs. It validates the core tenets of that invisible cow philosophy globally. If you're paying huge labor and feed costs, you need a cow that doesn't require your attention.
Okay, we spent the first part of this talking about the high-risk, high-reward genomic bulls that just cratered, costing farmers millions in anticipated value.
We did.
Now we need to talk about the necessary antidote to that volatility, the daughter-proven anchors, the safety net for your entire operation.
I think we really need to stop calling proven sires old news.
I agree. They're not just for the cautious farmer anymore. They are insurance against the dramatic volatility we just saw in Switzerland, Italy, and Scandinavia. They provide a predictable floor of certainty where genomic scores only offer high potential hope.
The value of that certainty is so often undervalued in the chase for the absolute highest index score. When you are mating 100 or 200 heifers, you need reliable production and, just as importantly, reliable fertility.
So who are the pillars?
In Scandinavia, peak Reno ET retained the #1 proven spot at plus 42 NTM. His value is simply his stability. His traits are locked in with high reliability, high yield at 130 and exceptional fertility at 120. That is a known, dependable quantity for your core matings.
That reliability is your management buffer. You can make long-term feed and housing decisions based on Reynolds' daughters because you know exactly what you're going to get.
Exactly. And in the UK, OCD Trooper Sheepster is a proven pillar. He's at a 783-pound PLI with 77% reliability. And remember, that's daughter-proven reliability, which is statistically different and far more mature than a 75% genomic proof.
So we know exactly what he delivers.
We do. Plus 0.17% fat, plus 0.07% protein, and that crucial plus 110 days of lifespan. You can bank on that longevity.
Wait, I want you to clarify that point on reliability. You mentioned the genomic sires that crashed were 75% reliable. Why is a daughter-proven bull like Sheepster, even at 77% reliability, so much better for risk mitigation?
That's where the physics comes back in. A 75% genomic reliability is based on the relationship of that animal's DNA profile to a very large reference population. It's a highly educated guess.
Okay.
The 77% reliability of a proven sire, however, is based on actual daughter production records under commercial conditions. It's a completely different and far more stable source of data. The standard error of prediction drops dramatically once actual daughters are in that formula.
So a genomic bull can crash because his DNA relationship to the reference set proves to be inaccurate.
But a proven sire at 77% is simply refining existing data, not proving a theory from scratch.
That difference is massive. It's the difference between a highly accurate forecast and a verified observation.
And for a real-world example of reliability maturing, look at Genosource Captain on the UK proven list. He moved to #7, but that's not the story. The story is, his proof has now matured to a near-perfect 98% reliability.
98%.
He still transmits 997 kilograms of milk and strong fat. That high reliability, 98%, is the kind of certainty that no genomic projection can ever match. It's the evaluation system working perfectly, giving us the most accurate picture possible.
So the practical application for you listening right now is simple, but it's often overlooked in the race for the next big number.
It is.
You need to allocate a meaningful portion of your matings, and we suggest at least 30 to 40% to these elite proven sires. They're your dependable risk management tool. They anchor your herd, ensuring predictable performance and fertility, while you chase those high-potential gains of the genomic market with the rest of your matings.
That balanced portfolio is what separates stable, profitable herds from the gamblers.
All right, let's bring it all home. A farmer just finished milking is driving to the feed store. They need to turn this massive influx of information and volatility into immediate action. What are the 3 strategic imperatives they need to act on from this December reckoning?
Okay, here are the 3 critical takeaways that transition from data analysis into actionable farm strategy.
Let's hear them.
Number 1 is immediate action. This week, audit your semen tank and diversify.
And the why on that is to mitigate the extreme volatility risk we saw. That 52-point drop in Boston, the 98-point plunge in Ecuador P, that concentration risk is just too high to stomach.
That's right. Go look at your tank, review your invoices, check your breeding sheets. If you are 100% heavy on one unproven hot bull, stop mating to him. Today,
Immediately.
Diversify ruthlessly. Cap any single unproven genomic sire at a maximum of 15 to 20% of your total matings. A team of high-quality genomic sires where the risk is spread out will always outperform a single superstar who crashes.
It's portfolio management for your genetics.
It is, and it's the only reliable risk management policy. Okay, number 2 is a medium-term strategy. 3 to 6 months. Rewrite your criteria to prioritize components.
Why? Because that's where the money is. Processors are rewarding solids, and the economic landscape demands high-quality milk. This is the quickest path to maximizing your revenue per hundredweight.
Your action item here is to immediately adjust your mating criteria to aggressively target sires transmitting high kilograms and high percentages of fat and protein.
You need those elite component specialists, the beyond high-level ET at 165 kilos of fat, the German prototype Saturn RDC at plus 0.88% fat.
And the component strength of Genosource Mistra. These aren't just numbers, these are the new revenue drivers for the next decade. Ensure your genetic program is maximizing the milk check based on modern payment formulas.
Okay, what's number 3?
And finally, number 3 is your long-term positioning, 1 to 2 years out. Manage inbreeding ruthlessly.
The why on this is simple. The genetic concentration is severe. We saw Genosource capture 73% of the top U.S. net merit spots. We saw the dominance of European lines like Altazazzle and Gameday. The gene pool is shrinking faster than ever before.
So use mating software to monitor and manage inbreeding coefficients before every single mating decision. This isn't optional anymore, it's survival.
You have to actively seek those outcross options to maintain fertility, calf vigor, and long-term herd resilience.
Don't let the short-term financial gain of chasing the number 1 NM1 bull undermine the long-term health and fertility of your entire herd. That's the difference between a flash in the pan and sustained generational profit.
Excellent. The December reckoning was. It was painful for some, but it delivered crystal clear signals on risk management, economic priorities, and genetic stability.
This has been another Bullvine podcast. Remember, the lesson of December 2025 is stark. Hype doesn't fill the bulk tank components and reliability do. For more straight-talking analysis, the full global rankings, and detailed trait breakdowns, head to www.thebullvine.com.
And subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're out with new deep dives every day, helping you make sense of the noise and the numbers. Next time, we're tearing apart the complex and often hidden costs of low fertility, and why those elusive days open are costing you far more than you realize.